Hello and welcome to Chinwag. I'm Kim from Peaches Galore,
And I'm Carla at Completely Canine.
and we've just spent about 10 minutes debating what we're going to call this episode, and I'm still not convinced we know. But this episode is going to be about how to chat to people out on a walk when you're with your dog, and maybe they give you unsolicited information, or maybe we think that we have a nugget of information that they might find useful, and how to give that across.
Yeah. And it's always unsolicited either way, but what's
One way
appropriate and
seems
what's
better than
not.
the other. Yeah,
Yeah.
catchy title.
Catchy. Very long title.
Because it is something that is quite common both ways.
Yeah. And I
So
hate feeling like I'm prying, but also if you are a professional and you could help, like it's usually well received.
yes,
You can go about it the right way or the wrong way, I guess, as well, can't you?
let's find out.
Let's find out.
So I think I I don't give unsolicited advice ever because uh I don't know, a confidence issue. I don't know.
A
I don't
confidence issue is in you don't feel
like I
like
wouldn't
you
go and talk to someone strange about them training their puppy.
would you talk to someone strange about anything? Someone you don't know about anything? Is that a general thing?
No, but I'm very friendly on walks. I'm always like, I will chat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to someone with a puppy in the park and say, if you moved your hand to the left and rewarded in that position, you're going to have a better outcome. I wouldn't go up to somebody who was trying to do loose lead walking who was rewarding out of their wrong hand. So they were rewarding out the right hand, crossing the dog in
Mm.
front of them, and say, probably better if you reward out your left hand because it'll keep the dog in placement better.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't go out of my way to approach somebody who is minding their own business, who unless they were harming their dog. If they were harming their dog, I would
I
I
think if
would
they were harming,
definitely.
yeah, that would be
Yeah.
different. So if you
But
saw
if
someone training a dog on a prong collar, would you go and say something?
oh mm,
See,
yeah,
at what point do you step in?
where's the line? I know not a
Where?
lot of people that would. A lot of my clients
Oh,
would.
totally,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, there are, and I am on board with them. Like, good luck to you.
Yeah. You
Um,
have to be a level of wary as a professional locally, don't you? If you and I'd also think that most people that are using a prong collar, if you go up approach and
they're
tell
not.
them it's wrong, they're not going to listen.
But I've
Like,
had on the reverse side of that, when I was a dog walker, which we talked about in last week's episode, I was walking a fairly new dog. And you know, when something's like really, this was probably, well, I haven't been a dog walker for over 10 years. So we're going back. That's how much it stuck in my mind. And I
mm,
was walking this white boxer who had a bit of a dodgy recall. And I was just walking it like 4 times or something. It wasn't a regular. So we're not investing loads of time. The owner was like, take for an hour's walk on the lead. I was like, yeah, no problem. I'll do that. And I was walking, and where this person came up to me and said, "Why is that dog on a lead?" And I felt like it's just none of your business. And I said, "Oh,
mm.
they don't have a great recall. They're not mine." And they told me to put an electric shock collar on that dog. So people do it the other
Oh,
way.
okay. And I'm not sure what that would have achieved, in all fairness, if it's not
No,
your not your dog,
no.
and B, they have no idea of anything about this dog.
So we're like, oh, they won't listen. Well, obviously I didn't listen. I didn't put a shock collar on this dog, so I didn't heed any advice from them.
Yeah.
Which was unsolicited and not wanted in any way, shape, or form. People do it the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might, if I was in a coffee shop in not branded work gear, I might say something quite loudly to somebody that I knew about the prong
Yeah.
collar.
Yeah.
And I have done that in a cafe with a local trainer who uses prong collars, who brought a dog in on a prong. And I was just minding my business having coffee. And I did talk quite loudly at that point.
What did you say?
I said, oh, that poor dog on a prong collar. Why would anyone use such a barbaric, like along those lines? Just in conversation with my friend.
but really loudly.
but just like a little bit louder, just so that they could hear what I was saying.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
very like, that's my style.
Yeah. I don't see so many of them out
Yeah,
in public. So it's
good.
not really something that I've witnessed around here.
No.
I've seen shock collars always on Doberman. Why are they
Oh,
always on Doberman? Like,
yeah.
I've never seen them on any other dog when I've been out walking other than Dobies. It's
Oh,
mental.
well. I'd love to say that that's the same for me, but no, I did put you on the spot with that question about like at what point do you decide that you have to step in?
Oh yeah.
Because it's quite rare to see someone actively abusing. And I'm not
Mm,
saying that using a prong collar isn't abuse, because I do believe that there is, but the thing, the difference is that people who use aversives like prong collars and shock collars, they believe they are doing it for the betterment of their dog.
yeah.
They have been told by a professional somewhere along the line that this is the best thing for their dog, rightly or wrongly, and that's a whole different debate. It's
Yeah.
quite rare for somebody to be out and out. Okay, here's maybe a different example. If you saw a long line on a collar,
Mm,
would you say something? Because that's quite a, we know that that's detrimental to the dog's well-being, but
yeah.
not the worst
I
thing in
think
the
it
world.
depends. It's all context as well, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
dogs on a relatively short long line and they're walking really relaxed and they're maybe a bit older or whatever, then it's
yeah,
very different to seeing a 6-month-old spaniel who is running 10-meter lengths and
yeah.
getting to the
Pinging at
end
the
of
end of
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very different. Like I don't like seeing long lines on collars at all. However, there are like a handful of cases whereby that might have to be necessary because the dog's
yes,
reacting to harm
absolutely.
or various different reasons. So it depends. But if I saw somebody purposefully with intent yanking the dog's neck so hard with a lead or giving them a smack, 100% every time I speak up about it.
Yeah,
Every single, there is literally no need for it in any
no.
circumstances.
So what would you say? Would you go over to them and say,
Oh, I shout. I shout at people. I do. I do. Sorry, I do. I
what
can't
do you
help it.
say?
I'll just shout. I'll just be like, "Will you stop like physically hurting your dog? Like it's
Yeah,
not going to help your situation. It's not going to teach your dog anything. Just depends again how close I am
yeah,
and
of
what
course. Yeah,
situation. But when it comes to giving advice about the things, I know quite a lot of people in the local areas that I walk in, like personally through family members or whatever. So I feel
yeah,
quite
that's one
comfortable in
thing.
my walking
Yeah,
community. So if I'm out walking a client's dog and they're quite sociable, or I'm out walking and I see somebody that I know with their dog and they've got a friend with a dog there with them or whatever, and they're talking about dogs, we're talking about dogs, and they mention something, if I've got something that's of use when we're talking, already actively engaging, I will give that piece of information and they can do whatever
yes.
they want
Oh,
with it.
yeah, yes, I'm the same.
Yeah,
I
and they
was
might
out
not know
running
I'm a
with
dog
someone.
trainer, so and that's
No,
fine. That helps.
running with some friends the other day, and she was completely absentmindedly talking about, oh, because we'd run past a street sweeper machine,
Yeah.
and she said to her dog, "Oh, that's fine. You're not scared of the massive sweeper machine, but the Hoover is terrifying." And I was like, "Are you just like throwing that out there, or do you actually want to know the answer? Because I can tell you the answer."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh no, if you know the answer, like tell me." She knows I'm a dog trainer, but yeah. So I was like, "Do you want to know that, or are you just like?"
Mm,
Because it's 6 o'clock in the morning and we're running and we're just all dying. So
yeah.
I will sometimes say, do you want the answer to that or not? Like, because
Yeah.
I have the answer if you want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm saying more about I go on the field that you don't know.
Mm, yeah. 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 So that happens quite a bit around here with me out walking. And I also, this is my running route. My running route is generally around the villages. And if I see a puppy, I can't help it anyway. I'll stop.
Any reason to stop.
Yeah, of
Full
course.
stop.
I'll just stop, and usually what I'll do, and it's so funny really because people's reactions are hilarious. I'll go, do you mind if I say? I'll always ask, do you mind if I say hello to
Yeah.
your puppy? And they'll always say, oh, they might jump, and I go, excellent, can't wait. And I'll literally lie on the floor in my running gear and I'm like rolling around on the floor with a puppy and they're like, oh my God, they really like you. And I'm like, oh, I'm actually like a puppy trainer and like, this is my forte. And then they'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, can we have your details? So it's a good sales pitch, but
Yes.
I don't do it for that. I do it because I'm like, I want people to know that it's okay for dogs to act a certain way around people. And even as a professional, I don't mind puppies being a
Yes.
little puppy. It's okay. Because you see a lot of them marching around with the dog, like trying to control
Yeah.
the short lead. And I'm like, you don't have to have like expectations. So I quite like blowing that expectation out the water a little bit. And then if people have got dogs, if I'm off somewhere and they've got a dog with not a very good recall, generally if they end up coming over and they put their dog on the lead, I'll say, oh, thank you for putting the dog on the lead. And they'll go, oh God, the recalls, we've been trying this, trying that. And I'm like, oh, here's like a quick tip if you want it.
Yeah.
But it comes up naturally in that conversation.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't stroll over to somebody the other side of the park to tell them how to train their dog.
No.
Because
But yeah,
not...
you know how to train dogs. See no problem in this.
Yeah.
Which is what I find really interesting.
Yeah. Or Clive, who's trained his one Labrador
Yeah.
from
One black lab.
Yeah, one like he knows how this exact thing will work for all of the dogs because it's complete hammer and nail effect.
100%. 100%. That was like
Clive's
the guy
hammer
that I
works
met.
for all the nails.
Yeah, yeah. That was like the guy who just I met on our local park, and he just told me that he trained a dog just by letting them off, and this dog's being particularly aggressive. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't seem to work so well for
Yeah,
your dog. I'm not going
yeah,
to take that information and pass it on.
yeah.
Like,
The
oh,
most common one I get is have you tried slip lead?
oh yeah.
There's always one bloke in every village that
Have
tells
you
everyone
tried?
that they need to try slip lead.
Yeah.
And it's just really funny. There's a company that's like quite a new company I think around here who specializes. I'm using the
Air
inverted
quote.
air quotes, specializes in reactivity around here. And they put like a story of like the dog that they're working with or the dog that they've just met. And then they write on there about what dog's problem is. And then they'll go, Freddie has never had a slip lead before, so we introduced a slip lead. And it's funny because I went on their site and every single post has exactly the same thing. So and so has this problem, which is completely different. Like it might be like separation anxiety.
Yeah. But now
Dog
we
has
use
separation
slip lead.
anxiety. It's never seen a slip lead, so we introduced the slip lead, and it's like this is hammer and nail. You found one thing that physically stops a dog doing anything, and you're going to use it for all of the things. Oh, hello, Stanley.
Stanley
Hello.
is Stanley's locked in my office today because we're having a new patio laid, and it's also Stanley's walk time, so he likes to make me aware that
He's
I
making
am
me
running
very
late
aware.
on our schedule.
For those of you that
Yeah.
are listening and not watching, Kim is basically being stood on and licked by her very dominant dog.
Very dominant. We should put you on the slip lead, shouldn't we? That would solve all of Stan's problems.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so I do think that there are people out there who, and I'm not saying that the slip lead didn't help with their loose lead walking problem and they jerked their dog along, and the dog their behavior was so suppressed that they were like, fine, I'll just walk nicely next to you because that doesn't hurt me anymore. So yeah, maybe it did work for that one dog that one time, but I'd love for them to come to work for just a week, just one whole week with us, and just apply that logic to every dog that we work with, and just
Oh, I don't want them to.
I don't either. Well,
No.
I do a little bit, kind of prove my point.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they will also be the people that tell you that harnesses make dogs pull.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I've had that. Yeah, I've had that as advice before as well. I've had that advice once before when I was actually wearing my trainer uniform.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You could literally be head to toe in day glow yellow with dog trainer, dog in training. We need space everywhere, and there are a certain type of person who'd be like, I know what they need. They need my unsolicited advice about this slip lead, prong collar, shock collar, letting the dog off, whatever it might be that they've decided is the magical grail.
Yeah, Dave will always find you.
Always. Always. And I just think, no, thank you. I've just learned with people like that, I don't even argue back. And I love a good debate, like, but even bother. I don't even attempt. I just go, thank you very much.
Yeah.
please leave.
I love a debate, but I love a debate where I think my voice is at least minimally going to get
Heard.
listened to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. They're not going to listen. And also a lot of the time when this happens, because it doesn't often happen with my dog, it happens when I'm working with a client and their dog. So I
Yeah.
can't take the time out of a client's session
Have a debate.
to deal with this other person.
Yeah.
Don't have that's not appropriate in any way, shape, or form. So I just go, okay, cool, thanks, and hope that my tone of voice portrays everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Like
your
if
responses then. So responses that you would give if someone said something. So you would literally keep it minimal. You would do an okay, thank you very much.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
If I if I'm on my own with my own dog, and then I might be different.
Yeah.
Won't be as polite. Be as polite. If I'm at work with a client, I will just say thank you, and it will be very dry humor with an audible eye roll.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like
So the guy on so our big field's called the Stray. The guy on the Stray who told me that he just let his dogs off because I'd asked him to come over because his dog was being aggressive to the dog I was working with. He was a really super confident, super friendly 9-month-old cockapoo. I want to keep that confidence as high as possible. And he told me that he'd never been asked to put his dog on the lead before. And I said, okay, no problem. Please can you put them on the lead now? As this dog's literally snarling in his arms. And I said, it doesn't seem to be working so well. So doodle pip.
Yeah, it's like talking with a smile whilst
Yeah,
you're really
very
angry.
much. But the client I was working with was like, I don't know how you. And I was like, because I only really have two options, that or have a proper go at them. And I'm not going to lower myself to doing that.
Yeah.
So it is really difficult. It is really difficult, and it's really hard when you're taken like when it's out of the blue, when you're just minding your own business and you're just on your walk, and
If
people
you're
can
not
be
even
quite
trying, yeah, if you're not even trying to do anything and someone
yeah
tells you you're doing it wrong. Because the thing is, like, it will, for a lot of the things, will come across as criticism anyway.
yes
Just like throwing criticism as a stranger to another person is not any way to build any kind of interest or relationship with that person about it. So
no
yeah.
And I think also like I think due to the nature of my job, I don't know, and where I like to do my training in real life environments. So I'm quite often in a situation with a dog that's just about coping in an environment. We're working really hard, and I need kind of other people to respect us in that environment. And so I do quite often have to call out, could you call your dog back? Our dog doesn't want to say hi or whatever. And I've been told to F off. I've been like so many things thrown at me. And I was like, I don't think at any point I've been rude to them. I have just asked, and most dog owners are like, "Oh, so sorry. We'll do everything they can to get their dog back." But you do meet some, and and I just think, what? Why?
Yeah.
We're
I
all
did.
out enjoying the space together. There's no rules. Like I don't have a dangerous dog out. I've got a cockapoo who's struggling with the world. Like
And it's only going to help everyone else in your environment.
Totally.
I had a good, like, there are good experiences as well of people. Like I've had quite a lot of people who, if I've asked them to do something whilst I've been training a dog, they've been really helpful because ultimately, like you said, we need them. We need the public to be around minimally because it's part of training. So I will always say to people, like, if they put their dog back on lead for me, I'll go, thank you so much. It's really helpful.
I will. Loads of positive reinforcement.
Yeah. And people love it. And they're like, oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
Or I'll say something like that's really helpful for our training. So they feel like they've been like part of it.
Yeah. There've been a couple in the local village where I've seen them regularly. And what I might do is if their dogs do rush over, I might say to them, would you mind putting your dog on the lead? Like if you see us in future, would you mind just putting your dog a bit earlier so that I've got time to deal with them? And then they'll come down and they will be able to say hello, but I can't have that in the start. And they'll go, yeah. And then they're really respectful. They see me and then they'll go, okay, I'll go on earlier. So it's just communicating in a nice way where you can without panicking. Because I know a lot of the reactions we have come through panic, because we don't feel in control of a situation when dogs rush or whatever. But actually, it's just try and think about what you need and what you want and converse that.
Yeah.
And then future reference, if I see you, it'd be really helpful if you could do this. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Over and out. Bye.
Yeah, I think I talk to clients about it a lot. I'm like, you just have to tell them, and as long as you're polite, like what you get back, you've got no control over. But if you put out a polite request, please could you call your dog away? Please could you put your dog back on a lead? That for whatever reason, what you get back from that person is out of your control. But what you put to them is very much within your control, and how you deal with them. Just rise above. Polite. Don't invite conversation. Ask them what you need. Like you say, get in as early as you can.
Yeah.
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 Hopefully that will be.
Yeah. It'd be good to hear if anyone's got any sort of stories, positive stories as well.
Positive stories,
surprised by people and how helpful they've been, or if there are regular people that you see out and about that are, they sort of know who you are now, and they'll really help you. Or maybe you've made friends with people out and about because you've actually stopped and had a conversation about your dogs and helped each other.
Yeah, definitely. How communities are built.
Yeah, exactly.
Fabulous. Cool. Well, that was interesting.
Yeah. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.